Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Guys, how do you feel kind of about the direction you guys are heading in right now?
Yeah, I feel good. Definitely not satisfied though. We still got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to improve on. I thought these past 2 days we did a great job in practice, just honing in on those things. Listening to what the coaches had to say, and we're rolling, trying to get better from here.
Well, defensively, you guys have played really well, and to have a bunch of guys, a lot of new guys, to be that cohesive on the defensive end, how's that going to happen? Usually, that takes time to kind of have that work.
Yeah, it's just a team effort. I give a lot of credit to our coaching staff for putting us through those hard practices early on and, way before the season. Summertime, preseason, all that. That just really prepared us and had us working together as a unit, far before we displayed it in our first game.
How do you embrace your role, kind of coming off the bench and making those shots?
Yeah, I just try to do, I'm just trying to do what I got to do to help the team be successful. Taking shots, passing the ball, whatever I got to do. I came here knowing that I would have a similar role to what I have right now. Just really trying to make all the right plays for the team.
Because you look pretty confident shooting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way you feel?
Yeah, being a grad transfer, I've been in college for a while now. Older, probably the oldest guy on the floor at all times. It just comes with a lot of reps, a lot of practice, a lot of hard work in the gym. So I'm just excited to be here and display my skills.
Can you talk about your veteran leadership that's really helped you fit in here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just I'm a vocal guy. I'm not afraid to get on people. Not afraid to use my voice to help motivate my teammates. So I feel like that helps the group. We have a couple other guys who have a similar voice that I do, but that just only helps the group. We got a couple quiet guys that we're trying to get along in that sense. So I'm just trying to use that to help.
You seem to. I remember during the recruiting process when you committed, and a lot of us talked to you on the phone. You seem like over the top happy.
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain how that kind of came about and just the joy you kind of felt that you?
Yeah, it's just it was UConn basketball. I've got an opportunity to play here at UConn, which is huge for me. I've always been someone who's been underappreciated, I feel like, and so just having the opportunity to even come here and be on the roster, that's big time for me, and it obviously gives me the chance to come out here and showcase my skills. So I'm just very grateful for the coaches to give me this opportunity.
Is being on this team everything you thought it would be?
Yeah. It's lived up to the expectations of having the time of my life out here. So, definitely happy to be here, and wouldn't want it any other way.
Joey, when you look at how the team is composed, a lot of attention's been played to the front court, but what role do you think you play in the backcourt, just trying to make sure that the ball gets where it needs to?
Yeah, just being solid. Putting the ball where it needs to go. Taking the right shots, and I just feel like, my role is going to come down to, being a zero turnover guy. A couple assists here and there, only taking good shots, putting the ball inside when it needs to go inside, finding the shooters on the wings. So it's pretty simple for me.
And what do you look for when you're trying to find those guys inside? What kind of reads are you trying to make to figure out where you want to leave the ball?
Yeah, Dama, if you see his chest, you got to throw him the ball. Donovan, if he's got a hand up in the air, I'm throwing it up to the hand. So it's pretty easy.
Well, how's the adjustment been, West Coast guy down on the East Coast?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm going to stay out here for too long after season.
Too cold.
Definitely looking forward to getting back out to the West Coast, but the people out here are great, and I just appreciate all of the staff and people we got around.
What do you think of the Joey California nickname, Coach Early?
Yeah, I love it. I love the California. We actually got some trying to get some merch on the way, so I'm embracing it.
Joe, you feel the love from the crowd. They kind of embraced you already.
Yeah. No, I've never played in front of a fan base like this, so it's truly something special that they got going on here.
National media kind of looking for weaknesses on this team. They kind of point out, and there's no real true point guard. But you've been able to make it work without that. How do you think that's kind of worked?
Yeah, Tristan and Haas are really our point guards, quote unquote. I think they do a great job. We've been a high turnover team, which has stopped us from being at our best on the offensive end. But we're working on that. It's not just them two. It's a collective group as a whole who's got to work on bringing the turnover ratio down.
And obviously Long Island and then Big East play starts. What kind of things are you trying to improve and see from the team in that game before your conference starts?
Yeah, just a lot of things. We like to pride ourselves on the defensive end, cleaning up the rebounding battle, offense, take care of the ball. So I really think those two things have been prioritized and what we need to improve on. But there's a lot of other things that the coaches have mentioned.
Joey, looking back on that recruiting process, what attracted you most to this program?
Yeah, I mean, after coming here, I got to sit in on a workout one day, met with the coaches, met with a couple of the players. It was just all business. I knew I had one more year of college left, and so I just wanted to maximize my potential. And, having a supporting system, players, coaches, staff around, trainers, I knew that was only going to benefit me. So just thought it was the perfect fit.
What are you guys not good at?
What are we not good at? I mean, there's plenty of things that we mess up every day that we see in practice after or in film after we come from a winner, and it's good to see it. And just working on our holds, and I think we do a good job in our holds, but just trying to just continue to get better in that, continue to just increase our on-ball pressure and stuff like that. I think we do. We have a lot of different people that do a lot of different things, so the fact that we just stick to our strengths definitely helps kind of hide the weaknesses.
With so many new guys, how do you explain being so good on defensively? Because usually that takes time to develop the chemistry on defense.
I think it's all just buying into coaches' like defensive schemes and what we're doing, what the scouting report is, and also he recruited a lot of guys who are good one-on-one defenders, so that also helps. When you got guys that can guard one-on-one, and then you also do that team defense aspect and buy into like the scouting reports and stuff like that, it just carries over into the game.
Talk about those weaknesses. Is this game against Long Island one of those games where you can kind of work on those things a little bit more focused?
Yeah, I think this game is just similar to every other game. Just continue to just execute and continue to just play the same way we do in practice. So just carrying that over into the game and just taking it with the same exact approach that we take to every other game.
What's Joey brought to the team? He seems to be, really into playing, happy on the court.
Yeah, Cali kid, he got a lot of swag and he's also just like a really good connector for the group. Like he just is always around everybody. One of the most lively players in the locker room, on the court. Great energy guy. There's never a day where he doesn't bring energy. So like that helps me a lot too in practice and in games too. When maybe I'm feeling down, he's there to build me up. And he's also just a jokester. Like he's always around. He's all over the place. And then on the court, you can see how it just translates. And everybody wants the best for him. And he's a great worker. Has a great work ethic. Worked his butt off all summer in the gym, running sprints. We ran hills. He actually came in second place.
Who's first?
Me.
I figured that was the answer, but you weren't going to let him win that one, no.
Nah, he was right there, though. He was right there. I had to keep going. I wanted to slow down, but he was right on my tail, so I had to keep going. That's just like what he brings to the team, though, is toughness and then also just like a camaraderie.
I know you have been playing for a bit since you recovered from the injury, but how do you feel like you've continued to progress since you came back?
I think it's just growing game by game and just growing into my role and figuring out ways I can just help impact winning, and whether that's offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, guarding, scoring a ball when I can, taking open shots. It's just talking to the coaches and seeing what they want from me and what my role is out there, and just continually trying to get better and grow that role. So that's the biggest thing.
You guys flew out right after the game. What was that plane ride like?
It was good. I think a lot of guys were dead. We didn't get back till about like 4 or 5 in the morning. They had to go to class the next morning, so it was tough, but it was definitely good. We all had a good time with one another, chopping it up, talking about the game and stuff like that. So it went well. It was good.
Is this team a loud traveling team, or is it kind of a quiet, headphones in, sleepy?
I say we're a loud team. I think Phil would agree with that.
Donovan looks like he was having some fun with the fans during the game. Is that kind of somewhat just a good feeling? How about where you guys stand right now?
Yeah, definitely. That kid has a lot of personality. He came here from Bristol, so it's like, I don't know. He just got a lot of pride for UConn, and he came here with a chip on the shoulder, and just like going into another place, you feel that like, all right, like we got to stand up for UConn, and we had a lot of fans there as well. So just like, I think that carried confidence for us, like just seeing all of our fans out there in Florida.
How has Coach Hurley really helped you not lose sight of those true goals you set out for yourself at the beginning of the season, even when you guys have all this momentum?
It's just all about human nature. It's like you don't let complacency creep in when it usually does, and that's the biggest thing. It's just like he's always reiterating to us just all the different things. We weren't preseason top 25. We weren't top 2 in the league before the season started, all that kind of stuff, and that just kind of puts our chip on our shoulder and the battery in our back to just bring it in practice and just play with that same enthusiasm, that same love for the game, really. And nobody on this team is trying to do it for themselves, so that helps as well.
I know Big East doesn't start till next week, but do you pay attention to scores right now of all the Big East teams, or is it? What have you thought much of the Big East coming up?
No, I haven't personally, but I know a lot of guys watch a lot of college basketball games and see where different guys are going. I've seen a couple games from Creighton, of course. Other than that, I haven't really been too locked in on the Big East schedule. I'm more focused on just game by game and really just locking into the scouting reports and studying the players that I'm about to play against.
So that happens obviously starting next week. You'll start kind of locking in.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Being 9 deep, how does that help your defensive intensity? Does it feel like, maybe I can follow this guy because I can have someone else come in for me if I need to? Does that kind of help that?
Yeah, definitely. I think that definitely helps when you have guys that can come in and make just as much of an impact as you. It just gives you that confidence to I'm just going to go all out because I know that if I come out, I have somebody that's going to back me up and really bring the same energy I do to the court. So it definitely helps having such a deep team, and I think that all comes from preparation, and everybody's locked into the scouting report. We don't have too many mess-ups, and that helps us win games.
How much is your defense going to fuel your offense as a team?
I think that's gonna be the real core part of our team is defense, turning defense into offense. We have a good transition team and we have a good defensive team. So just using that getting stops and pushing it and not letting the team get offensive rebounds, that kind of stuff is definitely gonna lead to our offense. And I think we have a lot of guys who play well in transition. So especially once Sampson gets back, we'll be able to really push the pace in transition and run the floor very well. We had a lot of guys who could make plays, a lot of guys who could make transition threes. Dominant force inside with Adama running the floor, so that's definitely something to look forward to.
Without being as deep as you are, I know everyone said there's no real one go-to scorer, but then how do you avoid the malaise of somebody being like, it's my team or it's my team if you're going that deep?
I don't really know. I think everybody knows what each player brings. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, I know if Adama's inside, I'm gonna throw him the ball. If Hawk is on the wing, I'm gonna throw him the ball. If AK is on the wing, I'm gonna throw him the ball. It's just like I don't think nobody's thinking about it in that sense. They're just more thinking about it. How do we get a score or a stop on this possession? Like who's the guy that is hot? Who's the guy that's in rhythm right now? You know what I mean? Like who's ahead of the ball? Just different stuff like that.
Throughout your career, have you ever been a part of a team that's that selfless with no one really with that big head?
I've been a part of teams that were like that, but nothing like to this extent with such great level players. I played on teams where maybe the talent wasn't as high, you know what I mean, and there was a very selfless nature to the team. But to have so many talented guys who can honestly want to be the guy, you have probably 8 or 9 guys that can be like, I want it to be my team. For everybody to sacrifice and just be like, this is our team and we're going to do whatever it takes to win, that's definitely something special. I've never been a part of.
You guys take pride in the fact, you're just here to win games, but win every game by double digits. That's a pretty impressive streak. Does that hit you at all, or does it really matter?
I don't know if it really matters. It's just like, it's all just within the game, and just playing defense and stuff like that definitely helps with that kind of stuff, like getting separation from teams down the stretch. When you're up 10, just trying to push it to 20 and trying to that's just kind of like the approach that we're taking, is just like always trying to stretch the game and always trying to find a way to just get away from the opponent, and that's kind of like the mentality that we all take to the game.
Andre, I know you've talked about seeking out some new things from different veteran leaders throughout your career, but what's a valuable lesson that you've really learned from Joey?
A valuable lesson I learned from Joey is you can't always be so serious. Like, if you just take yourself too serious all the time, it's never you're gonna be too uptight. So, just seeing the way he's all over not even all over the place. He just knows how to balance himself, and he knows what he has to do. But at the same time, he doesn't let it consume him and make him too anxious or nervous. So I like that. And also his swag, he just knows how to carry himself on the court. He really gets the crowd into it, especially when we're at Gamble.
That note,
Thank you.